tell. There's just like lines on my head. Anyway, I thought we could have a quick chat before I go to my Reading the Rainbow book club. I was able to finish this book, Nimona, I think is how you say it, by Noelle Stevenson. I really liked it, but I'm gonna wait to talk about it until after the meeting, just because I can tell you the plot. I can tell you like some cool like LGBTQ themes that I saw in there, but the group is going to dig deep and they're going to expose things I've never even thought of, and I'll have much more to discuss after this group. And then the other thing is, oh wait, hang on. I have to get my reading journal in a second, and I will show you basically what I'm thinking about for 2022. I decided after Heather's like clean out video that I was gonna count how many books that I had, because I was just curious, like how many unread books. I'm not getting rid of any because I just did that when I moved in September, but I just wanted to see like what is the official count, and it's 337. So I made a really cool bullet journal spread. Well, it's gonna work for me. It's my first one. It's really sloppy, but you know what? It's for me. And actually, I think it would look neater if I just did my own handwriting, because my own handwriting is super cute. But I was just trying to make it look like all bullet journal-like when I don't know how to do that crap. So anyway, I'll show you that in a second. But my other thing is I'm trying to figure out what little challenges I want to do next year. So I have printed the Pop Sugar Challenge and also the Read Harder Challenge. I'm going to take a look at those two. I'm curious what you guys are reading. I heard the Reading Women's Challenge is no more, and that like made me so upset, even though last year I was horrible at it and hardly read anything from the prompts, or at least like I didn't think about the prompts when I was choosing books. But yeah, I need to figure out which challenge I'm doing, if I am doing a challenge. So here it is. Obviously, this does not look so hot, although I think shelf looks pretty good. But I have 337 books to read. That is the count as of yesterday. And then these are just like, actually, I think I need to color in the middle. I think that these are like two separate bookshelves, but these are just like pretend books that I will color in once I've read one. And there are exactly the correct number on the board right now. There's my cat. All right, guys, book club has got me so hyper. So I feel like it's gonna be a late night, just celebrating that it's a Friday Eve and that next week will just be a more chill week of school than this week, just because like it's so close to Christmas break. But anyway, I want to talk to you about Nimona. I can hardly say that. And just some of the stuff we talked about at book club, because like I thought it would help me dig deeper and notice things that I didn't necessarily notice on my own. So basically I thought this book was fine, but when I discussed it, obviously I liked it better. Basically this girl Nimona, she kind of teams up with this guy, and he like doesn't really want a sidekick, whatever. She like follows him and gets her way in. And then this fellow is like his like utmost enemy, his arch rival, blah, blah, blah. And they're like working together to kind of defeat the bad guy and just conquer the world, mainly destroy like the institution and kill this king and a bunch of other stuff. So it is like a graphic novel in full color, which I think is important to see, because sometimes a book looks cool on the cover, but then I prefer this glossy, high color sort of, well, I guess it's not too glossy, but I prefer graphic novels that look like this. And like I said, I thought it was fine. I was really, really excited when I had it at school today that I basically told the kids I was almost done with it, and then it would be added to our classroom library, and one of the kids was like, I want it, like I get to read it first. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I freaking adore just this feeling that I am exposing kids to, number one, graphic novels that they can have access to, because they're written at a lower reading level, and they also have so many like visual supports. So there's that, and then also that they are just more queer and more diverse than what they may be exposed to. So anyway, so to talk about some of the things that we kind of got into a bit deeper, one of the things that was mentioned by a few of us is that we're just not used to reading graphic novels, and I do read quite a few graphic novels, so I'm a little bit more used to it, but I still don't think that I read it in the way you should read a graphic novel, with like really taking in the pictures and noticing some of the ways that it's structured. And so there's actually a book on reading graphic novels that I really want to read, and it goes through the different text features and things to just help you notice things and pay attention to things you might not have before. But within that, you have pages that look like this, where there's loads of reading. And then you also have pages, and I don't know if I can find one really quickly, but where it's mostly action and there's not a lot of reading. Here's kind of an example. It's just mostly like just the frames with lots of action. And so, I mean, I feel like that's common in graphic novels, that you transition between reading and doing like more visual work than you did on the other parts. But for a lot of us, this one felt uncomfortable. Like, it was like we got comfy in reading it a certain way, and then it switched to this other format, and then it would switch back, and it just was, I wouldn't necessarily say it was clunky, but it felt uncomfortable to many of us. And that kind of parallels the main character, Nimona. So throughout the book, we just want to know, she's like a shapeshifter, and we just want to know like what is her true story? What is actually herself? Like, what is the essence of her? Like, which shape is the real her, and what's her backstory and all this stuff? And it made us uncomfortable not to have this box to put her in, and it just kind of made us aware of other ways that we want to put people in boxes, as far as gender, race, sexuality, like all that sort of stuff. We want to put people in boxes, and you're just you, right? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think what else we talked about as far as things in this book. This was another example where there's LGBTQ stuff in here, but it wasn't a big deal. Like, it was just there. You know what? Like, it's not a thing. It just, characters happen to, feel some kind of way for each other, and that's just how it is. No spoilers. That was a big spoiler. The other thing I thought was super helpful that we talked about, which is not related to the book, but we just got the best pep talk from one of the people, well, from a few of the people actually, just about how stuff is really hard right now as a teacher, but just to focus on the moments that bring you joy. Like seeing, I have video clips, but I'm not going to put them on here, of my student using playing cards to help him do really hard math that he wouldn't probably have been able to access prior to having that as a tool, and just like the confidence that he felt when he was able to access that higher level thinking using a tool. And the feeling that is in me when I give students graphic novels that are diverse and exciting and accessible and all that sort of stuff, like, focus on that. And also, we talked about like how there's this bell curve of people that feel different ways about different topics, and we don't need to shift like the extremes. We need to shift the middle just through like the tiny things we do. So like having a diverse classroom library, like, you are just making it more normal and a regular part of life and not a big deal. And you are, through the way you live, through conversations, through whatever, you're slowly shifting those middle people over to a more inclusive, accepting, loving sort of attitude. And just thinking about like, what do we want the world to be like? Like thinking about that the children in our classrooms, if you're a teacher, or the children you interact with anywhere, if you're a parent or have nieces or nephews or whatever, like they are the future like teachers, but they're also like, and other careers as well, but they're also like the future police officers, right? And so if you think about all like the horrible violence that's been going on, how can we educate students differently so that if they choose a career where they're exposed to a lot of power, they will have the tools to handle that power in a better way? So I just feel like I left the meeting super empowered and able to kind of focus on the things that are bringing me joy right now. And also staying in my lane and doing my small part to do something, even if it's tiny. But yeah, I'm just gonna read, watch YouTube videos, and hang out because tomorrow is Friday. I will see you guys tomorrow for something involving the Polar Express.